This video will identify some of the most frequent topics that appear on paper 1 and show you examples of some of the type of questions that fall under that topic. This video is part 2. You'll find part 1 of this video in the description box. You'll also find a revision checklist and a formula sheet in the description box, alongside links to these videos. Free to grab a pen and paper and answer some of these questions with me. Risk and reward. Explain one way an entrepreneur can reduce the risk of failure when starting a new business. Now, when it comes to risk, you could include business failure, financial loss, lack of security. Those are some of the risks. Let's take a look at the mark scheme. One way that an entrepreneur could reduce risk is to carry out market research. Market research will allow the entrepreneur to understand the needs of the customer. Therefore, the entrepreneur can develop a product or service that customers want and are more likely to buy. Or, an entrepreneur could produce a cash flow forecast. This will help to identify times when the business may experience a shortage of cash. Therefore, the entrepreneur can make plans to deal with these issues to help reduce the risk of insolvency or any other appropriate response. Now, here's a risk question that relates to a case study. Outline one risk taken by the owners when starting Last Course Patisserie. Last Course Patisserie Limited is a small private limited company based in Devon which produces handmade desserts and puddings. The business was established in 1986. Its owners previously worked in the food industry, but felt they could offer better value for money to customers. All of the desserts are made fresh to order, which has provided Last Course Patisserie with a reputation for being flexible when meeting customer needs. Getting the best ingredients for the desserts is a vital part of the business. Last Course Patisserie found excellent suppliers of free-range eggs and dairy products close to its business location. This means all ingredients could be delivered quickly when needed. Last Course Patisserie has recently employed a new head chef from Switzerland who has introduced a new range of products to the menu. This has proved to be very popular with customers, and the business now struggles to keep up with demand. Last Course Patisserie is receiving increased orders for desserts, but, due to the size of its business premises, struggles to meet this increase in demand. The owners have decided that it is the right time for Last Course Patisserie to expand and possibly relocate to new premises. Let's take a look at the mark scheme. The owners risk a loss of security, but we also need to make sure that we link our answer to the case study, as they previously had jobs in the food industry. Or, the owners risk financial loss. There may not have been a demand for handmade desserts. Next question, which one of the following is an example of a reward from business activity? Is it financial loss, increased overheads, independence, or lack of security? And the answer is independence. The role of business enterprise. Now, as we know, the role of business enterprise and the purpose of business activity is to produce goods or services to meet customer needs, to add value, such as convenience, branding, quality design, or unique selling points. Brings us on to this question. Explain one benefit to a small business from having a unique selling point. Onto the mark scheme. A unique selling point will give a small business a competitive advantage. This would make customers more likely to buy from the business rather than from the competition. This means the business will benefit from increased market share. Or, a unique selling point will allow a small business to add value. This means it should be able to operate profitably, which reduces the chance of business failure. Sources of business finance. So an example of a sources of business finance question is explain one advantage to a small business of using trade credit as a source of finance. The mark scheme. Trade credit will allow a small business to buy now and pay later. This means the business has a chance to sell the goods before it has to pay its supplier. This will improve the cash flow of the small business. Or, Trade credit is a low-cost source of finance. If credit terms are met, then no interest is charged. This will reduce the costs of the small business. Cash and cash flow. Explain one drawback to a business of having low levels of cash. A business with low levels of cash may not be able to pay suppliers. This would damage relationships with suppliers, which means the business may not have sufficient levels of raw materials. Or, a business may not be able to pay its employee wages or salaries. This is bad because employees may leave the business to find work elsewhere. This will lead to increased labour turnover. The options for startup and small businesses. Which one of the following is a characteristic of a sole trader? A, they require business qualification. B, they have unlimited liability. C, they can sell shares to raise finance. Or D, they do not employ staff. And the answer is B, they have unlimited liability. Explain one disadvantage of starting a small business as a partnership. Over to the mark scheme. There may be disagreements between the partners. This means it will be difficult to make business decisions. This will lead to the business not being able to meet the demands or the needs of its customers. Or a deed of partnership may need to be produced. This increases the administration and legal requirements of the business. This will therefore increase the startup costs of the business. Social media. State one way Aphrodite could use social media, one mark. Aphrodite is a clothes shop that was formed in 1994 by two brothers, Andrew and Duncan Mackenzie. They opened the shop because they had a lifelong enthusiasm for new fashion. Andrew and Duncan visit Paris, Milan and London each year to buy their stock. They aim to buy well-known brands such as Stone Island and Hugo Boss, and to also stock clothes from new designers. This range of stock helps provide them with an advantage over their competition. Customer service has always been an important part of Aphrodite's success. A polite and friendly attitude greets all customers on arrival at the shop. In 2007, the business launched its website, which sells its range of clothing using e-commerce. The owners look to maintain existing high standards of service for customers using their website. A new opportunity was created when the shop premises next to Aphrodite became available to buy. Andrew and Duncan are considering buying the shop in order to convert the two shops into one large premises. They have calculated that this will cost them £250,000, but are undecided on the best way to finance this. So some examples of possible answers are they could use Facebook to show images of new clothing. They could use Twitter to provide links to a new designer. Analyze the impact on your bike of customers using social media to review the business. Now this is an analyze question, a 6-mark analyze question. If you're not sure how to answer it and maximize marks, do check out the video below. Let's go straight to the case study. On Your Bike is a family-owned business that first opened in London in 1983. Its customers include children buying their first bikes and scooters, through to experienced enthusiasts in road cycling and mountain biking. The business offers a wide range of bikes, many imported from abroad. These include high-quality brands such as Brompton, Cannondale and Ridgeback. It also stocks a wide range of clothing and helmets, including brands such as Endura and Altura. On Your Bike has large workshop facilities in its shop where qualified mechanics maintain and repair all makes of bike. All mechanics go on regular training courses to ensure they keep their skills and knowledge up to date with the latest cycling technology. This allows On Your Bike to offer exceptional customer service and advice. The cycling market has grown over recent years. Market research has shown that an increased number of tourists like to rent bikes and when on holiday. In response to this, On Your Bike operates one of the largest bike rental services in London. Bikes can be hired by the day or week with a choice of including road and electric bikes. Figure 2 shows a customer review from a comparison website. So have a look there. Let's take a look at the mark scheme. It can increase the number of customers because reviews on social media platforms can be shared by other tourists when visiting London. It is difficult for the business to respond to negative reviews of the cycle rental service. As a result, tourists may now consider renting cycles after reading the reviews, whereas previously they did not know that this service existed. Therefore, even if a review is incorrect, anyone who reads it may doubt the excellent customer service offered by On Your Bike. The marketing mix. Which 2 of the following are elements of the marketing mix? A. Payment, B. Planning, C. Price, D. Product, or E. Profit? The answers are C. Price and D. Product. Explain one way the marketing mix of a small business may change due to changing consumer needs. And the mark scheme shows that a small business may have to make changes to its product. This is because the lifestyle of consumers may require extra features on a product. Therefore, the design of the product may need to change to meet consumer needs. Or, a small business may have to change its prices. Economic conditions may lead to consumers having less money. Therefore, the consumer will feel they are still getting value for money. Legislation. Which 2 of the following areas are covered by employment law? Is it A. Consumer rights, B. Discrimination, C. E-commerce, D. Health and safety, or E. Quality of products? Let's take a look. B. Discrimination and D. Health and safety. Discuss the impact on a small business from the introduction of new employment laws. Now, if you're not sure how to answer a 6-mark question, a discuss question and maximize marks, do check out the video below. I will put the link to it in the description box. For now, let's take a look at the mark scheme. Legislation may increase the cost of training employees to comply with the law. Another point would have been legislation may increase the cost of wages and salaries of a business. And towards your linked strands, therefore employees may need to attend training courses which will cost money for travel, accommodation and training fees. Another point would have been therefore increases in wages for apprentices, national minimum wage and national living wage could lead to employees needing to be paid more. Exchange rates. Which of the following is a definition of an exchange rate? Is it A. the flow of goods and services into a country, B. the value of one currency in terms of another currency, C. a tax on particular good or service, or D. when businesses operate on an international scale? And the answer is B. the value of one currency in terms of another currency. Here we have an exchange rate calculation question. Sports Tours Limited has been organising football tours to Munich, Germany since 2010. The price of a hotel room in Munich in 2010 was €100. Table 2 shows the value of the pound in euros in June 2010 and June 2019. So do have a look at the table. I have underlined some key information there. Using the information in table 2 calculates 2 decimal places the price in pounds of a hotel room in 2010. You are advised to show your workings. Let's take a look at the mark scheme. So €100 divided by 1.23, and the answer gives you £81.30. Thank you for watching this video. The next 2 videos that will appear on your screen are what YouTube thinks you should watch next.